Hi guys, welcome back to Random Thoughts. I am the D Marie. We are here with my good friend Kelly.
Hello, hello.
And all month we have been sharing women and their health journeys, and Kelly is here to share her journey on rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis. So I've had a journey not unlike many others. I started out, early 20s, so early 2000s with joint pain, aches, just things hurting and swelling and inflammation out of nowhere, no reason that they could be found. Um, they decided instead, oh, it's all in your head. You're a female. You don't know what pain is. Lose weight, even though I was maybe 20 pounds overweight at that time. Blame nutrition and all of that. But main thing was it's in your head. So I stayed away from doctors, did my own thing, things started acting up. I wore braces, I did heating pads, I did the ice, I did all of that. All of it on my own. But then finally, a couple years ago, it just got to the point where I was hurting so bad that it felt like I was breaking bones
Oh gosh.
or just couldn't get out of bed. Like barely even enough energy just to be able to go to the bathroom. I would wake up and for a good hour, 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half afterwards, I would stand up and my joints would just be in severe pain. Um, Again, doctors, I started out, oh, well, let's try this, let's try that, x rays, so on and so forth. It wasn't until I had a fantastic physician's assistant that said, you know what? With all of the things that you're describing, everything you're telling me, your history with carpal tunnel and cubital tunnel and Ehlers-Danlos and all of this, you need to go to a rheumatologist. They need to run everything and try and figure it out. So I said, okay, great, let's get answers because here I am, barely 40 years old, and there's days where I'm just in severe pain or exhausted for no reason at all. So first rheumatologist, again, not unlike many others. First rheumatologist kind of passed it off, oh, fibromyalgia and probably fatty liver disease, and just ignored everything else. My inflammation levels were extremely high, not quite to the level of cancers, but both long-term and temporary inflammation levels were consistently high. So my doctor then started running a lot of the different autoimmune disease protocols, all the different blood tests, had me go for Rothman for tons of joint issues and really just narrow in as much as we could. With that, there was some things that had popped up, but I did not have the rheumatoid factor. So I am what's called seronegative rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh, tell us about that. What does that mean?
Okay, so basically, the antibodies that your body should make to say, hey, this isn't right, we got to fix this, mine doesn't do that.
Okay.
So with rheumatoid arthritis, basically, to put it in a nutshell, it's kind of like your body has your immune system. Think of it like your soldiers. You got the Navy, you got the Army, you got different ones that fight for different things and harder. Well, my Army was attacking my joints, the synovial fluid that's surrounding and every joint. My Navy was my Army was attacking that, thinking that it was some enemy. And instead of jumping in and doing something, my Air Force, that rheumatoid factor, just started laughing and grabbed popcorn. So, and that makes it even more difficult to be able to diagnose. So then it becomes a method of exclusion rather than inclusion. Um, yeah, at this point, I have no cartilage behind my knees. I wear joint braces anytime that they're really flared up. Um, Finally, a good rheumatologist had taken the time, looked over everything. I had my list, symptoms, how long, which joints, every symptom under the sun, what I ate that day. Like, I went on for like 2.5 years of just logging everything. And she was the first one that actually took a look at it all and pieced everything together. And then after a few different visits, she was like, okay, I had it narrowed down to 2 or 3. Now that I'm seeing what I'm seeing, it's rheumatoid arthritis. You definitely have fibromyalgia as well, but you do have rheumatoid arthritis. Then became the medicine journey. So, any time that it is an autoimmune disease, once you have one, you're highly likely you become a Pokemon master. Okay, you got one, and now you got to collect them all. As many that as your body wants to collect.
Yeah.
So early diagnosis is definitely paramount to be able to differentiate which ones. I know numerous people that waited and waited or got pushed back the same way I did for those 20 years, except they gained, 4 or 5 different autoimmunes during the same time span before diagnoses, and they can't separate them. So then my one friend is diagnosed with connective tissue disorder because it's an umbrella term for numerous different autoimmune diseases. So, anyway, back to medications. So, the only things that I can do is when I go into a major flare up, multiple joints are hurting, higher levels. I have pain all day, every day. It's just a matter of which joints and to what degree. And it changes every minute, every hour, every 10 hours. It alternates. I can never prep enough. So with the medications for it, if in a flare and need to get under control, it's steroids, which causes weight gain. Of course, majority of people causes weight gain. And that's to help get the inflammation levels under control and quickly. But for a more long-term regular management, usually the first go rheumatologists like to do methotrexate, which is pills or shots.
Okay.
I do the shots. The pills are known to really wreak havoc on your GI system. So already having some GI issues, shots was immediate. So self-injectable every week. Then it's finding the balance, dosage of that. Then if you need more, a secondary one, or I did infusions for a while, but they were just too costly. I felt great with the infusions. It was every month going, just laying there and having an IV of the very low dose chemo drugs to settle down my immune system. I felt great though. But yeah, it's far too costly, even with insurance.
That sucks. It's like, why is it the most expensive things are the things that work the best?
Health is for the rich.
Yeah.
So now it's 2 weekly shots that I'm on. We changed off of the last regimen I was doing because I was starting to get kidney and liver damage. So, just like everything else, medications comes its risks and rewards. So I had to sit there and decide whether I would like to stay on the drugs that really help my joints and allow me to, run about a whole lot more and risk my organs or risk my joints. Which one do I want? Is the treatment worth the cost? So I decided, you know what, my organs, those can't be replaced so easily. And if I end up in a wheelchair, I end up in a wheelchair beforehand. But but we switched to a new medication, trying that. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that, that won't cause much more damage or very slow rolling. But without any type of immunosuppressant, things like autoimmune diseases, they They will wreak havoc on your body. They will progress. It will only get worse. And there's no way of removing or reverting back the damage that's been caused. The damage is there no matter what. So now it's a matter of slowing down the progression of it.
What would you tell someone who's going through a similar journey as you? Like, how would you encourage them or suggest to encourage them to keep pushing to get to that better doctor, to get to that, real diagnosis?
Self advocate. Absolutely. If you feel like they're passing you off, keep going. Keep asking questions. Unfortunately, we live in an age where you have to come with information. Now, I'm not talking full chat GPT, Google, I'm not talking about Google doctoring yourself, but come with a list. I take the time, write down the symptoms, make sure that they're actually looking it over and reading it over. Because a lot of the times you'll hand it to them and they'll look at it like, oh, cute, and pass.
Yeah.
Make sure you star or highlight the most important things for them to take a look at. Give them a copy to keep in your records. I would definitely say join support groups in different areas that you think might be being affected. Take a look at what other people are saying. What tests were ran, what their different symptoms were. There's once you get to a certain point where there's tons of matchup, bring the information to your doctor and just say, hey, I'm thinking that it might be this. What do you think about that?
Okay.
Can we run some tests? You have to have a rapport with your doctor. And if you can't have that rapport with them, if you feel like they're passing you off or just blaming it immediately on weight or just completely bypassing the level of pain you're trying to explain to them, move on. Get to the next one. I know it's a pain to find the good ones, but until you do, and one that's going, like my primary had said, you have to keep going until you get the right one that takes you serious.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to know.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kellie, for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me. And definitely, if things are going on, don't just let it go. Don't. I know it's hard, especially in this economy, but major things, there's signs of something else going on. There's only so far self-treatment can take you.
Yeah. If you have any questions for Kellie, feel free to also add those as comments in the description below. And I'm sure Kellie would love to chat with you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll check you out later.